Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Heard of the Line. As ever, I am your host, Fletch, and joining me this week for a special episode, we're going to try something a little bit different, are three wonderful co-hosts. First up, I'm going in screen order. We have Ballers Meg. How are you, Ballers Meg?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Next up, we have the man, the myth, the legend. That is Tom. How are you, sir?
Very good, thanks, Fletch.
Lovely. And given the topic of today and the fact that we need to get him back and used to bantering off all of us, well, not I see him every Wednesday, but used to bantering off the other guys, we've got Sam. How are you, sir?
Yeah, good. Still reeling off my weekend loss to, was it the Kansas losing, but it is what it is.
There was a
Didn't get to
football
go
game
to the
this
game, and
weekend.
the team that I chose didn't win. So,
Are you trying to tell me there was a football game this weekend? Nobody told me.
yes,
Um,
you were there
I was. Oh yeah,
enjoying
I
it
was.
live.
Oh yeah. I was indeed. That happened. Okay, so before we get into the main chunk of the episode, I have to do these few little bits. As always, this episode is this podcast is brought to you by the Asleep at Work Network. You can follow the Asleep at Work Network on all of the socials. It's AAW_network on Twitter, AAW Network on everything else. Also, you can follow this podcast. That's Heard of the Line. Heard of the Line on everything, literally just one word. Heard of the Line. Follow the podcast and all of my wonderful co-hosts. You can find the links to all of those links to follow in the description of this episode. You can also find our Discord server where there is plenty going on. You can join for free, get involved in the episode, and get involved in a variety of different things going on across the network because we have plenty of podcasts and plenty of content coming your way as it's football season officially. Football is all the way back, all the way. Uh, and you can also, by the way, getting into the season, we need you to understand we have a wonderful sponsor that sponsors that is Fantasy Game Day. And if you like NFL daily fantasy football, then you need to get on them. They are the first and only UK-based daily fantasy football app. That's Fantasy Game Day. The link is in the description. And when you sign up to them, if you use code HURDLE without the U, that's HRDLE Hurdle without the U.
There's no hurdle line without you. I haven't done that in a long time.
Perfect, flawless. The execution was impeccable.
I haven't done that in
Yes,
a long time.
you can use the
I,
code.
I realized what you were doing at first, like doing the weight, and I was like, oh, that's my line.
Yes, you can use code Hurdle HRDLE. That's Hurdle without the U, and you will get a free play worth £7.50 once you deposit and play for the first time. Right, okay. We're going to do something a little bit different this week, and we're going to do a fantasy football draft live on the podcast. Not everyone in the draft could join us, but that doesn't matter. We will analyze the picks, we will tell you what we're doing, and just give you a bit of an insight, especially if you're brand new to fantasy football, into how these things tend to go. Tom has drawn the very nice long straw. Tom gets to pick first. And before we do that, I just need to know, I've been a little bit busy this weekend in a foreign country. Has there been much NFL news that's happened?
Well, we've just had
Meg,
the
do you want to go
news.
first with the Bendinucci thing?
Yeah, can do. Falcons released 13 or 14 players from their roster this week, and Ben DiNucci had put out an image of him at the airport with his beer, just saying, but none of you know how this beer tastes after being cut for the seventh time in the NFL. Bless him. And he got a really good response actually, and his comments after that, because it seemed a little bit depressing at first, but his comments after that were pretty resilient, that he's hoping to be back and on another team near you very soon.
And then also we had finally the news that Terry McLaurin has signed an extension with the Washington Commanders. Long time coming. There's been contract dispute over this summer, but he signed a 3-year, $96 million contract to stay with the Washington Commanders. he's been there through the tough times, and now he's there with the good times. So, fair play to Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, for getting his money.
Absolutely.
Someone who's not going to be with the Washington Commanders though, Brian Robinson. He got traded to, was it the Niners? I think I saw for a
Niners, yeah.
The 49ers.
sixth round pick.
Yep.
Which, as a backup to McCaffrey, is pretty decent. He's going to be. They've always needed. I think one of the things that the Niners always struggle with is having someone to give CMC a rest, to allow them to run plays that they would without him there, and not have to change their offense too much. And I think he's a great addition, much to my annoyance, but there we go. The only other bit of news that I had, which has only just come through, is that Jacoby Myers has requested a trade. So he's put in a trade request as of about 2 minutes ago, which seems a bit bizarre given the fact that he was essentially number one wide receiver on the team. Probably the only one beating him out would be Brock Bowers. So odd decision. There must be something going on in the background, whether he wants more money or something like that. But yeah, odd decision.
Yeah.
And then also Shiloh Sanders, who was playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, got waived by the Buccaneers after being involved in he punched a player in preseason. Todd Bowles came out afterwards and said, you can't do that. You've got to keep your temperament, and that's cost him a chance at potentially making a 53-man roster. So maybe he'll end up on a different team or what have you. But silly decision that's cost him a place really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
He's likely going to end up on someone's practice squad, isn't he, for
Mm.
a little bit, because there'll be someone who'll take a flyer on him. But it's one of those things, the sort of situations like that, they stick across the NFL. People will remember that, and it could hamper his career entirely. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've not really paid too much attention to the Bucks in preseason, but he's been doing all right, hasn't he?
Yeah,
In
I mean
preseason as well.
he's been doing okay. I mean, in terms of if you look at like the PFF grades and stuff, not like brilliant, but like he's had a presence and he's definitely made some plays. So that's kind of the shame of it as well, that it looked like he was probably going to get a spot, but just let his emotions go, and that's cost him a place. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And then
we also
I had one for the Chiefs as well. The Sky Moore saga is
yeah.
finally over. The second round pick out of Western Kentucky. Was it Western Michigan? Either way, he the experiment with him finally ended for the Chiefs. They traded him to the 49ers. And yeah, I mean, he had some impactful plays. He scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So, we don't win the Super Bowl if he doesn't catch a touchdown. But at the same time, he wasn't consistent enough, lots of drops and everything. But hopefully he can have, a better time with the 49ers. So no ill will towards him, but I'm glad that the Chiefs moved on from him. So
Yeah.
Yeah, some Rams news. We've waived 10 players and released Tony Fields, the inside linebacker. The only, I suppose, noticeable one, if you've watched any of our preseason games, would be Dresser Wynn, who started and pretty much played the whole of the preseason game against the Cleveland Browns. He was terrible in that match generally, so it doesn't surprise me that he's been waived, given the fact we have Stetson, who's been good in preseason, obviously Jimmy, and then Stafford. So it's not a surprising one to me.
And also Cam Akers got released from the Saints as well, and then tweeted about it being like the NFL is tough, man, because it's a tough game, everyone's trying to fight, compete, try and make a 53-man roster, and not everyone's going to make it, and that's what sucks. But I'm sure he'll get another chance. I could see him going back to the Vikings potentially, because he did well for them there. But I'm sure he'll get on a practice squad somewhere.
Yeah. Always liked Cam Akers when we drafted him, but he just doesn't seem to have the physical capability to be a lead back, and I think that's where, in a league where you kind of, it's either you sit behind two or three behind, or you are the lead back. It's very difficult, and you have to. I mean, even with the modern way that it seems to be going, where we have at least two RB, like leading RB1s who work together, he just doesn't fit that profile, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure he'll be picked up by someone. I mean, the Vikings, I think it will be like the fourth time that they picked him up, so you never know.
Who knows? But yeah, that wraps up the news, Fletch.
Lovely. That takes us perfectly to dead on 8:30 on the clock, which I think this means draft time. Right. If you are watching on YouTube, you lucky so-and-sos, you're going to get to watch our draft board as I'm just sharing the screen now. See if, wonder if this will actually do the thing that I want it to do. Yes, it will. Lovely. Okay, so if you are watching on YouTube, you will be able to see the draft board as it's happening. Guys, have you got your phones ready?
Yep.
Lovely. So, if I can, yeah, got that to go.
Before you start, is it worth going through what the format of the actual league is? Because it's
okay.
So obviously there's a lot of leagues out there. So one of them could be that it's, Superflex is a very popular one at the moment. But I know we're not doing that. So
no, this is a bog standard PPR league with a snake draft. Hang on, let me just get all the things up. Do you know what I said? I asked you all to get your phones ready, and I haven't even got mine ready. It is a pretty standard PPR league. If you're not familiar with that already, that's point per reception. We've got one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, a tight end, two flexes. That could be a wide receiver, a running back, or a tight end, then a kicker and a defense. And then you've got your bench. Pretty standard league. This is what the vast majority of leagues will pretty much run. This is nothing special. But as Sam said, you can get some variations where you got super flex where you can put a quarterback in there as well. Some leagues run different point systems. We're just using the standard sleeper scoring system. 0.1 yards. For every yard you gain as a running back or a receiver, that's 0.1 yards. For every touchdown, it's 6 points. I think 6. It's either 6 or 4. I can't actually. Yeah.
It's usually 6 for a touchdown or 4 for a passing touchdown.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. And then for every reception that you get as a receiver or a running back, or even a quarterback, because those things happen sometimes, you get 1 point. Now, as we said, Tom drew the extra long straw. Tom, you are on the clock.
Thank you. With the first pick, I'm going to take the obvious one and take Jamar Chase. I mean, he's going to get a million different targets from Joe Burrow, and he is basically the Bengals offense. I mean, T. Higgins, yeah, he'll play, but he always gets banged up, and Jamar Chase is always ever reliable. So I'm going to take Jamar Chase 1-1.
Lovely. Next up, we've got Nick from the college pod. He's actually online, so that pick should come through. Now, while we wait, hang on, we've got it come through. Saquon Barkley has gone second overall. What do we think?
Yeah.
Number 1 running back out of last year, I think, for all running backs, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, it was between him and Derrick Henry. I can't remember who was number 1. But what's my pick?
Sam, you're on. What would you try and do if you're third and you've got Jamar Chase and Saquon Barkley gone? What are you looking at getting here?
To me, it's sort of, I think these early ones is you're just looking for someone who's going to probably be involved with a lot of positions. I think when you've got PPR especially, I think with having you're looking at probably either just a standard wide receiver, or you're looking for like a running back who takes a lot of, who's involved in a lot of plays where they're going to be catching the ball. I'm going to go with someone who I think is actually going to be potentially is going to be running back 1 this year. He's my target guy in terms of who I think is going to be running back 1, and that's Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay, and that is that a difficult one to make, given your affiliations to Bijan Robinson, and who's after you, who also has affiliations to Bijan.
Yeah, it's I really obviously I've never made it unobvious that I'm a massive fan of Bijan, and I think the problem that I have with picking him is it's if he does well, great. If he doesn't, then I'm always more disappointed because I like him, and I still for me don't feel like he's getting used as much as he can be and used to his full potential. Um, I think he finished. I think it was RB5 or 6 last year. I think it was. Oh, sorry, RB3. And I still want more from him, and I think it's just easier for me to not pick him based upon the fact that it's just disappointing when when I don't get it when he doesn't do well.
Well, he's fallen to someone who might like him, might not. Ballers, Meg, you're up. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
fairly obvious one for me. I've drafted Bijan every single time that I can. I love him. Obviously, it's a bit of a homer pick for me, but even if he wasn't, I would still be picking him if he's available at fourth for my advice to anybody drafting this week.
Well, looks like the person who's picking at 5 isn't online. They might not make it, so we've got about a minute and 40 to kind of go through. Couple of things that I think should be mentioned about this draft as well. Again, if you're brand new to this kind of thing, it's a snake draft, which means we go from first to last, and then whoever picked last in the first round goes first in the second. So Tom's got to wait a lovely, lovely, long, long time before he picks again, but he'll get 2 in a row. And this was an 8-man league, but we've had a cancellation towards the very, very end here, so we've ended up having a free team. Which means I don't know what Sleeper's going to do here. Sam, what does Sleeper do in these kind
It
of positions?
it basically just does the auto picks. It'll go on whichever is the highest ADP or what is needed. So
Okay.
it can really mess up a draft, but it also makes for a lot of entertainment because
Okay.
you end up seeing people just players getting taken that you really want. So it just adds a little bit of extra fun to it, I suppose.
Okay. So we could
But
have some curveballs thrown here.
it should just auto pick. Same with
Yeah.
Parky's pick. It should just auto if he's not around.
Okay. So
I have messaged Groovy, so hopefully, well, Gary who's on the other pod, I have messaged him, but
yeah.
What's everyone's preferred spot in a draft? Where would you prefer a pick?
my favorite spot is 8th. Well, in this case, would be it is 8th or last. I am very much a draft last person. I just think you can get the most balance out of a team because you're almost picking like the last and the best, and the last out of 8 is still a great player, but you're also getting the 9th best player as well. Whereas I think first and what would be 16th in this position, it just shows the sort of the slight variant in it. So for me, it's always been the last pick, but as long as I'm not anywhere in the direct middle, like 5th is probably where I would hate to be in this draft. But it's a lot difficult when you're in an 8-man league because 8-man leagues are you're going to get a decent enough team anyway.
Yeah.
Now it's Fletch.
I wonder who he's going to go with.
Well, actually, I'm going to explain in a sec. One of the things, well, you might see if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the screen. Parky's now on auto pick, which means if you don't pick within the allocated amount of time, you get set on auto. You've got to log back in. If you don't, it will continue to pick for you automatically. Now, my top 2 picks here, if you look at the average draft position, you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's 6th, and CD Lamb, who's next up. Now, you'd expect me to go with a Amon-Ra St. Brown here, and we all know that, especially in a PPR league, when one reception is worth 10 yards, and then you've got the yards on top of the actual reception. But with the way that the Lions look to be running their offense this year, if J-Mo's going to start getting more involved, and then Jameer Gibbs is going to get more involved in the passing game, and Tim Patrick might be, the load that Amon-Ra will 90% of the time see and has seen throughout his career, he probably won't see it as much. So and he doesn't take the big plays, he doesn't get the massive ones, he gets a lot of touchdowns, but whereas CD Lamb, will be taking a lot of those receptions and the big plays and the touchdowns. So I'm going to take CD Lamb here.
I think that's a great pick from you.
CD
Auto
Lamb
pick.
CD Lamb is being touted as potentially being the challenge to Chase as the wide receiver 1 this year, which is quite interesting.
And
Yeah,
then the next pick was automatically St. Brown's.
yeah. I mean, I'm in multiple. I know most of us are in multiple leagues. I've come up against this specific scenario multiple times. I have in other leagues chosen St. Brown. Days where I'm feeling more like a homer, I will take him. But also, one of those decisions is gonna be the right one at least, and one of those leagues I will see that be the right option. And for the sake of today, I'll do the one where I actually truly think it through. So Gary's
Truthfully,
up.
I've taken a lot of Amon Ra. I take him a
Yeah,
lot every year. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. So,
I mean,
but yeah, like you say, probably the sensible option is probably CD Lamb,
Plus,
given
the thing with Amon-Ra is that, as Fletch said, he is so good, but he doesn't get those like big yardage. That tends to be Jama. And you've got to think about it in a sense as well. Jama is in a contract year with the Lions. So
yes,
he's going to want to go out and prove it and get loads of yards and get loads of touchdowns. Um, so that kind of plays into it a little bit as well, where CD Lamb's just freshly been paid last season. He can just go out and ball.
yeah. Um, so Sleeper is while we wait for Gary to pick, Sleeper is generally the app that most people seem to use it. It's the most common one. If you look through here, again, for anyone who's new, you've got your players sorted by average draft position, but also one thing to keep an eye out on. Actually, I've never looked at this on a actual computer before. I've always looked at it on my phone. On the phone, you get, oh, there we go. There it is. Right there, under bye. You need to be keeping an eye on your bye weeks. And you don't want too many players who have the same bye week, obviously, because then you lose a lot of players in one go. Now, Gary's online and he's taking Derek Henry.
Oh, I don't know if he did take it though, because I think it went
no,
down to zero.
it was an auto pick. It's
Yeah. I was gonna
annoying.
say, I don't think I was watching it count down and I was like, I
Yeah,
don't think he's gonna get to pick his time.
See, I was busy
annoyingly,
looking at that, so
normally it'll set you into auto, but because he's on the turn, it doesn't do it for the first time, I don't think. But it will
Oh,
do
really?
after this. Yeah, we've had it in so many leagues where, like,
Oh, what? So
especially
it
when
will
you
just wait the 2 minute. It won't
yeah.
long.
But when we've had it in other leagues, obviously when we're doing slow drafts,
Mm.
we've had someone knock down 8 hours, and then it just starts another 8 hours, and they've auto picked, but it doesn't then shift it on. So essentially,
Oh
you
my
see in
God.
some
16
instances if they're
hours.
not there for 16 hours,
Yeah, that is insane.
but it should, after this one, it should set him in auto
okay.
theoretically.
All right,
But
fingers crossed, because we don't want to be here at like 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
almost it's a 2 minute a pick, so hopefully it won't be as bad. But Derek Henry there after a run of Jefferson, Lamb, and St. Brown.
It'll be
Probably
Puka
Puka
Nakua
Nakua.
next.
But
Yeah, until you get to about probably around the 10th, 11th round, it starts then just picking based upon what you need. So that's when we'll
yeah.
start seeing some really like weird picks. I remember in one league, because it was a super flex league, it went like 5 picks in a row where it just picked quarterbacks. So this team just had like 7 quarterbacks. And it was really annoying because obviously everyone's like, well, we want run it, we want quarterbacks. Well,
Okay. Oh, Devin A Chain has been
oh
the
wow.
pick on auto pick. Gary is now on auto. And then Puka Nakua goes for the second.
Next. And that's
A
back to
Chain
you,
and
Fletch.
Nakua. So this is where I think you start to hit. You see, like you say, Sam, some of them dilemmas where the potential return now gets a bit choppy. My top ADPs here are Neighbours, McCaffrey, Gente, and Nico Collins. And see, last year you would have straight away said, well, Christian McCaffrey was going first overall, wasn't he? So you weren't getting in the position and seeing Christian McCaffrey. I haven't done it yet in most leagues, so I'm gonna take a chance on him.
I
Oh,
like that. I like that pick.
nice with those ankles. Um,
He's one of my picks for comeback player of the year. You watch him have an absolute.
I can see
I
it.
hope I hope he doesn't.
No, so do I. So do I. And
see,
then
I
Malik.
was I was thinking of Ashton Janty, but I'm not confident enough in him, so I'm going to do a bold move and take Brock Bowers
Oh,
because I
nice.
think
Smart.
this tight
That
end
is a smart
is
move.
top.
That's who I was going to pick.
Sorry, Sam.
Hmm.
In between then, so in between my McCaffrey pick there and Meg's Brock Bowers pick, Malik Neighbours went off the board. So
Damn.
Sam, again, like with the board the way it's fell now, what are you looking at?
I mean, what I would have been looking at would have been Brock Bowers in this position because I think, especially with the news of Myers wanting to trade away, he's essentially becoming the only potentially only real option there. But now I'm kind of I like Nico Collins. I don't know how their O line's going to hold up, or I could maybe look. I mean, I could take a flyer on Genty, but I tend to, especially in redraft leagues, I avoid um, rookies in their first year generally. So I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to go for Brian Thomas.
That's who I was going to pick.
Now we're just stealing each other's.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nick's up, Nick's online. We will get a pick out of him. I do like that Brock Bowers pick though, I'm not gonna lie.
Because I
Oh
picked
yeah,
I picked him as a I went against what your trend is there, Sam, last year and picked Brian Thomas as a rookie, and
mm,
he paid off big
yeah,
time. Because the league that I picked him as well, I won the league. So
yeah. I mean, he did so well last year. That's why I'm confident taking him definitely in year two. Um, it's just generally, I just especially in certain positions, running back's always a difficult one because they're so expected to be there every single game, every single I suppose run. Essentially, it's if he if he gets he's more likely to get an injury than someone like a Thomas would.
yeah,
I
true.
see it, but I've very much been kind of very like sort of reserved on Junty just generally because I just don't, you see these players, especially it was like a bit like Robinson last year. They get such a big hype that it kind of just it can blow up. But I think the more with the Robinson one was more that I think it is the team he went to. It just didn't scheme right to start with. I think Janty, it's going to be they're going to need him to step up straight away, and they're going to use him to basically just bulldoze through people.
And
So
we saw this a little bit in the playoffs of like the college football playoffs last year. And although I think he came away with a 100-yard game, he did not look like the Ashton Genty that we'd seen all year. And part of that is, well, that was the same O line that was dominating multiple other teams in the Mountain West. But you go up against a team now that's a Big Ten team, and you're going up against they've got a completely different level of D line. It doesn't hold up as well. And with the Raiders, I don't know if their O line will hold up as well against some of those D lines, and he's going to need them to.
All right,
Um,
so I've gone Nico Collins, and then I'm obviously back on the clock again,
Yep.
and I am going to pick Bucky Irvin because I am super high on Bucky Irvin this year.
Lovely.
With oh fuck's sake, what was her name again? I always forget it. Um, the Buccaneers. So I'm taking Bucky Irvin for sure.
Lovely.
Good show.
yeah, it's not quite worked out for Rashad White there, which is a shame because he came into the league looking really strong.
They kind of had that in Tampa Bay though, because they had the same thing with Roger. If you remember when he came in, like he
Mm,
came in and he had a really good rookie season, and then he just kind of went off the boil a little bit. And Rashad White, the difference is Bucky Irvin, just his vision is so good. Like between the tackles, making people miss. He showed it last year. Whereas Rashad White's more that kind of bell cow back, like he's just gonna run through people, right?
Mm.
He hasn't got as good a vision. He hasn't got as, as much speed as well, and elusiveness. So it just hasn't worked out for him, unfortunately. But I mean, I would if the Chiefs were somehow able to get Rashad White, I mean, I would take that 100%.
Oh yeah, he's still a workhorse. He'll still do a job there. It's just obviously he's
Mm.
not going to be the leading back. Um, Someone who I think is going to be a very, very solid option this year. Um, he, he probably needs maybe a few more touchdowns, but I really rate him, and it's more so over the last year. Is Drake London? Drake London.
Mm.
So my pick's Drake
Good
London.
pick.
I just think he's a very, very solid wide receiver, and again, he's another one that has the potential to break into the top five.
There though, isn't there? That's my worry with him. I'm going to go the man we were talking about in the news. I'm going to take Terry McLaurin. I was hot on him all last season. I love Scary Terry. I'm a secret Commanders fan at heart, so glad to see him getting his contract in.
And if you follow Meg on TikTok in particular, you will hear it all the time. It is not a shock to anyone. But after last year, apart from me for about 3 days, who wasn't a little bit of a Commanders fan for a while, the whole story and the whole story last year was just fantastic. In between Meg picking, and now we've had Lamar Jackson come off, the first quarterback come off the board. I want to talk about that in a second, but I have a pick to make, and I realize I only have about 60 seconds to do it. I know that Team 8 are going to take a quarterback, and I don't know if I want to get in there on Josh Allen first, or whether I stand by I've blown my draft strategy out the water so many times this year. Already. I'll go against my best interests here, and I'm taking Josh Jacobs.
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan
Obviously,
Taylor,
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
Oh, Jonathan
Oh,
Taylor. Oh, here we go.
Jesus Christ.
That was
That
fast.
was quick. That was quick. That was.
Okay, so
This really does ruin my draft because I didn't have Chase Brown going that high, but I was looking at him massively for this year. So that's screwed that up.
So I'm back on the clock again. Did not you forgot that was going to be so fast? Team 8 has taken Jonathan Taylor. Then it was passed over to Gary, who's on Autopick. He's just come online. It looks like Josh Allen and Chase Brown, and then Lad McConkey has gone. That throws it back to me. Now with the first tight end off the board, I always get worried in times like this. I don't want to take. I don't want to be too far down in the tight end boards, and that's happened to me enough times. So I'm going to start looking at the tight end. And my option got Trey McBride, George
There's only
Kittle,
one.
Yeah, there's only
and
one.
Sam
There's only one.
Laporta. And yeah, like you said, there's only one that it could really be, and it's Mark Andrews.
Oh, wow. You're going quick now.
The
I'm
way that
taking
came
Trey
through,
McBride.
I genuinely thought you'd taken Kyron Williams because
Yeah.
how quick he came through. I was like, whoa.
Literally.
Yeah. I took Trey McBride, and then Parky has taken Kyron Williams, and now it's back over to Meg.
Right. I'm a bit concerned with the auto picks slamming the quarterback button. So I feel like I'm gonna jump in and
Knew you were going to do that.
two in a row from Commanders, but I'm taking him.
Yeah.
Phenomenal rookie season, and I don't think he's going to have the same hype this season, the same stats this season, but I do think he's doing good things still.
Oh, we're not talking about a sophomore slump like, say,
That's the
Stroud.
question.
Stroud had.
That's what history tends to dictate. So we'll have to wait and see.
I mean,
Hey, history can be changed, okay?
but also we saw that what the Texans didn't do to put around Stroud in his second year. I
Very
don't.
true.
I know they've lost a lot, but it's whether they've retooled him and whether Cliff Kingsbury still is just a genius again. So, Sam, we're back onto you.
Yeah, this isn't how I was expecting it to play out.
I would normally not take a quarterback that early, but
Yeah, I mean, quarterbacks for me is probably round 5.
yeah.
But I'll stick with my thought process in terms of who I would go for, just based upon how the league's going. It was probably going to go this way anyway. I know it's not the best in terms of picking for my. Actually, no, I can't pick him. That's annoying. Just because of where the running back situation is, I'm going to go James Cook.
Oh, that's a nice pick. Yeah,
I'm not huge on James Cook. Well, I am huge on James Cook. I really like him as a running back. My struggle with him is that a lot of last season he did a lot of big runs and like sort of broke off and got some sort of very big runs. Will we see that same like production out of him this year? Will he get the big runs that he got last year? I'm not too sure. But he doesn't get the sort of the red zone touchdowns that you would expect. So I'm not too sure, but I picked him now, so I can't really do anything else about it.
Nick has joined in on the quarterback panic, and Jalen Hurts has gone off the board now as well. Tom,
Yeah.
are you panicking yet?
Yeah, I don't know who to pick. I've got 2 players in mind. One of them's a wide receiver, one of them's a running back. I'm gonna take him. Oh no, am I gonna take him? Because they're gonna be a terrible team. I'm basically thinking I'm either gonna pick Alvin Kamara or AJ Brown. Because they're kind of, I don't know though. It's I have
AJ
to.
Brown,
AJ Brown's gone, is he not?
he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did he go? I never saw it.
Pick before
Nick
pick
took him.
Oh shit, my bad.
Straight
Okay,
after you
then
took
that's
over.
no, that's that's good. In fact, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go with Fletcher's method and get a tight end, the next best tight end on the board, and I'm gonna go for George Kittle.
Good show.
Tom, well, you've got 2 picks in a row. Are you QB panicking yet?
No,
No.
I'm not.
Okay.
And then, oh, okay, I need another running back. No. See, I'm the same with you, Sam. I had a strategy going into this, and like the
It's
way
been
that
blown
the
out of the
board
water.
just fell is
Yeah,
just yeah.
there's a wide receiver that I really want to pick up, but it's whether I will then risk the bye week issue. That's my problem.
Mm.
See, this is the best thing. I know, Sam, you are regularly considered, as you should be, the fantasy football expert on the AAW network, but we all take part in multiple drafts every year. We've all been doing this for long enough to see this throw some of you off and to be able to go through this, I think is a really, really fun experience.
It's
So
it's just one of those experiences you have to like kind of, especially with it's the same with any league. You've just got to be so reactive to how the league's going to go, because inevitably someone's going to do something ridiculous and pick someone you wouldn't expect, and it just throws everything out of kilter.
I'm not going to name names, but I was in a draft the other day where a kicker was taken in the 5th round.
wow.
To which I had to respond on social media with the quote, well, the meme quote of what's it? Sean Dyche saying utter woke nonsense.
Oh yeah.
The game's gone, lads. The game's gone.
Game's gone. Game's gone.
Game's gone.
Crazy that draft, I have to say.
Yeah,
Absolutely crazy.
I didn't even think until I saw the kicker go in the 7th, and I was like, "Kicker's gone in the 7th. The game's gone." But then saw the 5th round and was like, because I just didn't expect to see it. I think my mind blanked it at the time.
Yeah, but wasn't that the draft that we had 8 quarterbacks in a row go pick 1 to 8? I'm sure it was, and it was a 1 QB league. It wasn't even like a super flex. Like
That's silly. You shouldn't be no in a normal 1 quarterback league. I would not be expecting quarterback to be taken in the top
Wow.
4 rounds minimum.
No,
So,
100%.
but I mean, look, just going back to the pick that you made, Tom, I really like the Smith and Jigba pick.
Yeah. I just think, well, he's clearly the wide receiver one in Seattle, obviously trading DK Metcalf in the offseason. I thought he had a really good year last year, underrated. And I just think he's going to be really good this year, to be fair. I'm very high on him. I cannot believe that Travis Kelce just no.
I was expecting a tight end to go, which was where I was going to get annoyed. But
Mm.
thankfully, the one that's gone wasn't the one I want, or wasn't the one I wanted. So, yeah, my next pick's going to be. I know I'm pretty much, for people who watch me draft, they probably think that I'm a Lions fan deep down or something, because I take a lot of Lions in my picks, and I'm going to stick with that and go with Sam Laporta. I think he's going to have a very good year this year.
Ooh, that is a risky pick though, because he didn't have a good last year, did he,
He
Fletch?
didn't, but I think he's going to have a much better year this year.
Oh, that is boom or bust, that sort of pick.
I am going to go for. I'm taking this player because I don't think the Panthers have got that many targets. So I'm going to go for Chuba Hubbard because
Yeah, see, that's a good pick. That's a
running
good
backs
pick.
are slim pickings this season.
Mm.
Like a real decent running back that's going to put those points up. Whereas if team's not got that many targets, then
And he's like a three down back as well. He's on the field a lot, and he's the last 2 seasons he's proved that he's one of the better running backs in the NFL. So I think that's a really good pick.
He's also in a division where the division is, apart from maybe um the Buccaneers, it's not a strong division,
Mm.
which means that there's more likely that he's going to get more runs and more chances. Whereas I think, when you think of probably the Panthers in not in most normal years, that they are behind a lot in games and they have to throw the ball. Whereas I think this year they could probably see more games where they may be more involved, which allow them to do more runs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, two things I'll say on that was one, I noticed the shot fired at Meg there. And two was I picked him up last year when they were behind in a lot of games because he was just about all that they had entrusted. They weren't letting Bryce Young do too much. Adam Thielen hadn't really got into the season with them, and they would just still say, like, listen, if anything's gonna come from anyone, it's gonna be Chuba Hubbard. You keep pounding that rock, mate. And for some reason he was still available on one of the waiver wires last year, and it turned around my season. So I'm all for the Chuba Hubbard pick. Tyreek Hill has gone with an auto pick. And I've got about 20 seconds to pick now, so I need to do this real quick. And I feel like this is one of the more obvious picks I could do at this time. I'm not truly yet in quarterback panic mode. Let me fill out all my flex positions and give me T Higgins.
Oh, okay,
So
nice.
next one, to be fair, that's a good shout.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Garrett Wilson going that late is pretty mad as well, to be fair. But also, you
there's
know,
just so much uncertainty with the Jets still, I
yeah,
think.
especially
Like,
and the quarterback play, you don't know what you're going to get out of Justin Fields. So
yeah, I mean, he's
it
he's
is
made
it is
some
tough.
pretty awful um plays in preseason as well, which
Mm.
hasn't helped.
Yeah, 100%. I do hear that.
Gary's on the clock. He's no
He
longer on
did
auto
join
pick 'cause
and
he's
then he
come
pulled it
in.
off.
Yeah, he asked us when it actually started, and we were like, well, about 20 minutes ago. Um, so we might get a full 2 minutes out of, maybe even a full 4 minutes out of Gary,
Might get full
um,
4 minutes.
to catch up on some of this. Is there anything that's really taken you by surprise in terms of a pick so far? Other than loving
I
it,
guess it's
but
difficult though
Travis
because
Kelce's
it's
thrown me a bit.
yeah, I think
Yeah, the
Travis
Kelsey
Kelce threw
pick.
me a bit that high, but then also it's like different people have different draft boards, and then different people are like, I'm higher on this person for this year compared
Yeah,
to this person. So I think you're always going to get that, that's the unpredictability of, the people who are drafting. You've got to know the people who are drafting, kind of what their draft strategy is going to be, and then based off that, because you can go on with your own strategy, but then off the back of that, um, you have to adapt on the fly based on what other people are doing as well. So
yeah.
Yeah. And you always end up someone ends up doing a homer pick, which
Mm.
completely throws you off as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think the draft that I was in the other day, it was a lot of newbies who'd never drafted before.
Mm.
And I remember doing my first draft, and the first thing someone actually, well, I say pulled me aside, it was virtual, but they kind of pulled me virtually aside and went, just don't do what you think is the smart option and take a quarterback right now. Wait. And I'm so
What's
glad I got a little
interesting
bit
with
of advice like
how
that.
the picks have gone for this, and it's a bit annoying. And this is probably the one negative that I have with people who don't get involved in drafts or we have empty spaces, is you have dumb things like 4 running backs going and 4 wide receivers going. Like that's just
Yeah,
not
very
normal.
true. Yeah.
And
I
that's
mean,
what that really frustrates
are,
me.
are
But
you referring to that team right there?
I'm referring to the team 8 and team 9, where you've got 4 running backs, and smacked in the middle of that is a quarterback, and then team 8, where you've got 4 wide receivers with a smack in the middle of a running back, which would be, I think, a lot more normal.
Yeah,
But hey ho,
Yeah, that's crazy.
it is kind of mad.
Crazy.
because I guarantee this next pick's probably going to be like a quarterback.
Yeah.
It should. I mean, if it will be, it'll probably be Joe Burrow, which is again
Joe Burrow.
another annoyance. But
But
it probably should be Marvin Harrison or
yeah.
Mike Evans, which is annoying because that was the one I was talking about. Is because he's probably going to go now anyway. Is Marvin Harrison
Marvin
Jr. I think
Harrison. Yeah, I picked him
having a big
last year, and he although stats wise, he didn't put up the greatest rookie season or whatever. He still had 8 total touchdowns, and he did have monster performances. Like, unfortunately, Sam, against your Rams, in was it week 2 or week 3 where he just roasted you guys.
Yeah, he was him and it was week 2.
Yeah, it was week 2, wasn't it? Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure
Him
it was
and
like
him and
20,
Trey
it was like
McBride just had
30 to
fun.
3 or something at some point, or whatever it was.
Yeah,
But like, yeah.
I think after half time it was 30-3, and he just out. It was insane because they just came out of the block so fast. Another running back. Kyle
Wow.
Walker. I'm now screwed for running backs.
Is that Kyle what? No, I'm joking. No, that's I can imagine Gary's going to come back in a minute and just be a little bit annoyed.
Well, it's his
With
own fault.
Well,
that.
it's his own fault for leaving it on auto pick. But you would have thought that Sleeper would be like,
Yeah.
maybe he needs a wide receiver.
But I think this is the problem, is because he needs 2 running backs and then 2 flex positions, it'll automatically pick those.
He's gonna end up as like Josh Downs as his leader wide receiver or something.
He's probably gonna have DK Metcalf as his leading running back, which isn't too bad, but
So one of the things that, like, 4 picks ago, I wasn't in QB panic. So no QB's gone, so I can't be in QB panic. But what I am going to say is I do need a quarterback now, and I do want to flesh out some of those positions that would generally tend to be. Again, in some drafts, I've gone with different strategies. In some drafts, I've gone with just to try to get as many good players as I can, and then just got a QB really late. I'm going to go. My plan's going to be to kind of flesh out the positions first, and then take whatever I can. So, give me the man who needs to score 45 points a game.
Joe
So you're
Burrow.
probably guaranteed to get points out of him. Give me Joe Burrow.
Nice.
yeah, it's about
Yeah,
where
there you
I
go.
would
Mike
take it.
Evans went Sam.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm looking at wide receivers here, realistically.
Which
And
means you're going to
I'm
take the
not
one
going
that
to
I
take
want.
Harrison. I'm going to take Devante Adams.
Oh,
I'll take that.
that's a good pick.
Because again, I just think that he's got a lot of potential at the Rams. So
Well, I've kind of talked him up now. I'm going to have to pick Marvin Harrison. I've just talked him up. It's not the sort of
You
pick I
talked
would go
about.
give
You
up.
have to do it now, Sam.
I
You
have
can't.
to
You
do it.
can't.
I've got a lot of week 8 players now. This will be my 4th, so yeah, screw it. I've done it before where I've just screwed off a 1 week and it's been fine. So yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's going to have a big year.
I don't know. You can big up Marvin Harrison
Damn
Jr.
it.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is great, but it also you have to rely on Kyle Murray, which
He'll be
never.
running about all over the place, won't he?
That's the tough one because I was just about to pick Amari and Hampton for the Chargers, but that has been picked. So now Kenneth Walker's already gone as well.
This is what I mean by how the draft's going. Is it's ruining opportunity. You're going to have Kamara, which you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I mean it's going to have to be. I mean, it says it's going to be awful, but at least he's going to get a bunch of targets
I mean,
probably. So
if
Well,
you want a running
he-
back, are you
he's
not wanting to make a push on Travion Henderson?
I think for this position because Kamara is not only just the lead running back, he's also a receiving running back.
yeah, that's
And
what
the
I
way
mean.
that he gets
He's a
schemed,
receiving threat out of the
yeah,
backfield as well. So I think that means that I'm going to have to take him. And I don't think he's a terrible pick, but I would have loved to have Amari and Hampton because I know that Jim Harbaugh's just going to get him to run the ball the whole time. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
Lions
I'm
have
on the
waived
clock
defensive lineman
again.
Mitchell Aguda.
Now I'm on the clock again, and then do I now go quarterback? Maybe.
Your boy's there.
He's right there.
Yeah, the homer pick is there.
Come on.
Because I've heard all the vitriol that people have said about Mahomes, and I know in
My
fantasy football,
God.
the last few seasons he's not been the guy. But I think this offense this season is going to be explosive. I've been watching the preseason. It's the cleanest pocket I've ever seen him have since he's been drafted. In all honesty, I think Josh Simmons is going to be one hell of a left tackle for the Chiefs, and that was the biggest glaring issue that they had. He didn't know how much. Well, he had to speed up his internal clock to get the ball out without rushes just coming straight at him. And I think he's going to get a lot more time to throw the ball this year. So
Yeah.
I think he's coming back. I think he's going to win MVP this season. I'm going to say that right now. So
Well, I'm annoyed with Nick also for taking a guy who I think is going to have a brilliant year in Cortland Sutton, and that's I think more situational more than anything. I think they've not got a lot of wide receivers in Denver, but they've got the link up that he had with Knicks last year was brilliant. And on that note, given the fact that I'm the last person bar team 8 to need a quarterback, I am going to take quarterback here, which probably is the right decision anyway. And
Taking
he's going to
Baker.
be Bo Nix.
Oh,
Bo Nix over Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Fair. Entirely fair.
interesting.
If I hadn't have picked Mahomes, I would have picked Mayfield. But Mahomes was on the board. I'm not just
I
going to let him
really
go.
like Nix. I think there's more. Again, it's maybe a bit of a slight homer over Mayfield, but I really like Bo Nix, and I think he's in a
For
situation.
David Montgomery.
Oh, nice.
Just because I think, like I said earlier, running backs are quite slim pickings now that we've got a 5 running back team. So I feel like I just want to just ensure that my depth in my team is there.
Oh, Rashee Rice went as well.
But he's gonna miss about 6 games, isn't he? Anyway.
Yeah, but then the rest of the games he's going to dominate because he's literally going to be the focal point of the Chiefs' offense. Him and Xavier Worley.
I
So
think
I had
Xavier is going to be brilliant this year.
You think Worley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is, he's definitely going to have to step up this year for a good period of the game.
Oh yeah, 100% he is. Yeah.
I had a homer pick lined up. Someone took it. The one I've had homer picks in every draft. It's the one homer pick I don't think I've actually been able to get because every time I'm in a draft, I'm just in the one place where the pick before, I'm not quite sure whether I should take David Montgomery and he's always gone by the next pick. So
I'll take it for CMC if you want.
I'm okay. So I'm definitely taking a wide receiver here.
What about another homer pick then, Fletch?
That actually, to be fair, I might not take a wide receiver because the homer pick could still come through. That's my next homer pick. I'm going to do something that goes against a little bit of every core of what I believe in. I need another running back because I want that little bit of depth there. I've made no qualms about the fact that I kind of like what the Patriots are doing,
Ooh, she's gonna
but
pick Travion Henderson.
but oh,
Oh,
you fudging
And that is why
fudger!
you should have picked Jameson Williams.
The homer should have happened.
but
Six.
the funny thing is, look at that team. It's two wide receivers, running back, two wide receivers, running back, two wide receivers.
Oh man.
Harsh.
I traded away Jameson Williams so I could get a Buckeye. That is dirty.
Yeah, what have you done, Fletch, mate? What have you
Um,
done there?
Like
no,
yourself.
it's like I'm hurting at the moment, and you don't need to keep reminding me that how much I'm hurting. Well, I want a wide receiver, and I'll take Xavier wherever.
Nice.
Shout. Um, where am I up to? I need another wide receiver, I feel, and then I'm gonna start looking further. I'm gonna take a risk actually on Ted McMillan.
Ooh,
I
nice.
had my eye on him during the combine, and I love that guy. I think he could do some good things.
What about
Um,
you, Sam?
We're all
This is a really difficult position because I need a running back, and part of me wants to take a risk on an RJ Harvey, but
That's out.
I think I'm going to go with someone who I think is a little bit more sturdy, is a bit more known. No, fuck it. We're going to have some fun with it. We're going RJ Harvey.
Nice.
I like that pick.
I like that pick.
It goes against everything that I do in a draft, but we're down the rabbit hole of random things happening. So why not just stick with it?
Sure.
He should probably
next
go
up.
wide receiver here.
Mm.
I reckon he takes Waddle.
See, I don't want to touch Miami with a barge pole, Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. Not at all. I honestly, I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. Like,
Yeah.
I
Especially
really, I
if
think
Tua
it's.
does what he does, which is likely.
I could see Tyreek Hill being like, I want out, like trade him at the trade deadline. Like, I mean, I'd take him back at the Chiefs. But no, honestly, we don't need him now anyway. But you know, some contender would take him because I guarantee that the Dolphins are going to start like what 1-4, 1-5. I don't know. Like honestly,
Yeah.
What do people feel about Pickens this year with his position in now obviously being at Dallas?
I considered him for a second there in my last pick, you know. Uh, it could be
What?
interesting, but I just don't trust Dak Prescott. So that's
I just when has a wide receiver two ever worked out in Dallas? That's my ultimate thought
not
whenever
for
I'm
the last
thinking of
like
Dallas.
7 years.
Yeah, exactly. When they've had CD Lamb, who's just been the guy.
Oh, okay. So they just picked Pacheco. I'm gonna pick a running back at this next spot, and I'm gonna pick Aaron Jones for the Minnesota Vikings.
He was my safety pick. It was between him and Harvey, and he was my safety pick.
And now that I've picked running back, I'm gonna pick wide receiver. And who's left on the board? Uh, it's not great pickings, really. I
Literally.
mean, I say it's not great pickings, but I might have to take George Pickens. You know what? I'm gonna take a flyer on George Pickens.
I mean, in the ninth round, it's not a bad pick. I'm very just because of recency bias, the fact that those wide receiver twos in Dallas have just not worked out. I'm just so wary of taking him, and
Yeah.
he's got an attitude which I think always puts me on edge with someone like him.
I know that's the thing as well. I was tempted to take Jerry Judy, but like I don't think the Browns are going to be very good. But he also, even when they weren't good last year, he was really good. So it's like it's a difficult one.
Yeah, and I mean, because you've said that, that saves me having to go through it. I'm going with Jerry Judy
Yeah, yeah.
because I just think that even when they've been bad, he's been good.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is if you could get a consistent wide receiver who is good even on a bad team,
Mm.
then why wouldn't you pick that guy?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I'm flipping up my draft strategy here because I'm just thinking about bye weeks and things at this point. I'm quite happy with like the core of who I've got and having a good backup for each position. So with that theme, I'm going to pick my backup QB and go for Baker Mayfield before he gets
So,
taken in a
yeah.
draft pick.
okay.
In the rogueness that is the back end of this draft.
Very much.
I like that pick though. I do. I love Baker. I really, really do.
Yeah, I do as well, to be fair. I think that's a steal in
Yeah.
the
Nine.
ninth round to get Baker Mayfield is pretty good, to be fair. I rate that 100%.
TJ Hawkinson has gone with Parker. Now it's over to me. Now, my one little problem here is I've got three wide receivers out in week 10 that I clearly didn't truly think through. Uh, and I've got Joe Burrow out in week 10. So I'm going to have to start making some real business decisions here. Would I be willing to take a punt on Travis Hunter?
He's
Probably
looked all
not.
right in pre-season.
It's either going to be the punt of the century where, it helps you, win the league, or it's going to be
Disaster.
I like what I agree with everything you're all saying about Jalen Waddle. I'm not sure on Travis Hunter. I feel like he'll be more productive on defense either way. And I'm just not sure how it's truly going to work out for him in the regular season when he's getting hit by real DBs and whatnot.
Truthfully, I think out of the two wide receivers in Miami, I'd be more confident keep having Waddle than I would Hill.
I would as well. I would agree with that.
Oh yeah,
Personally,
I'm
because
not
I just
truly
think he's a better wide receiver
I'm not
now that Hill's on the decline, I
down
suppose.
on Waddle, but my other option here is that I'm maybe willing to take a punt on a Chris Olave, but I'll take Waddle.
I'm a huge Olave fan, so but he took Waddle instead.
Yeah, I was I might be, um, but I have taken Waddle.
I love that. We just saying like, oh, Chris, I love it. Oh yeah, what a yeah.
Yeah, I'll take
No,
Waddle. Go for it.
I was torn between the two. Between Jalen Waddle or Chris Olave. Then you've got so Tyler Warren's gone, Tony Pollard's gone, Travis Hunter has now gone, and so is Jared Goff.
He would have been a good second QB, to be fair.
Mm.
Jared Goff.
I'm never high on Jared Goff for fantasy purposes.
Mm.
Never, because so many of our touchdowns will come on the ground.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So it's like, yeah, he runs a fantastic offense, but he doesn't run and the touchdowns come on the ground. So you're still not getting too much out of him from a fantasy perspective. Um, so um, I want to reshore up I think just for a backup tight end, I'm going to take Evan Engram
Good shout.
with this
Nice
pick.
pick.
Um,
Oh, Quince von Judkins off the board.
Uh, I am going to take a punt on another rookie actually, and I'm going to go for Matthew Golden at
Oh,
Green.
nice.
That'll take that.
With the Packers.
Yeah,
The only
I
problem with the Packers is that they have like when you have four wide receivers, you have like none, and they have like five. You know what I mean?
They
Like
have so many.
they have so many. They got like Jaden Reed, they got
Romeo Dobbs,
Tavian Wicks, they got Romeo
Dobbs.
Dobbs, they got obviously Christian Watson's injured, so he's not going to start the season. But I like that pick though. To be fair, it's their first ever. It's their first round wide out since 2001 or something like that. So I like that pick.
multiple MVPs and they couldn't get Aaron Rodgers a first round wide
It's
receiver.
mad, isn't it?
Jordan Love
Crazy.
gets one.
Right. This is an interesting one because this is where I probably would have taken Jacoby Myers.
Mm.
And now it's thrown me off because obviously he's obviously putting the trade request. I don't really want to touch Olave.
I hear
And there
that.
is someone that I'm looking at that's a lot further down in the ADP who I think is going to, at least for the start of the season, be really integral to the way that this team plays in terms of from a throwing perspective. And I'm going to do it because why not? We seem to be in the rogue season now anyway.
Oh, Ricky Pearsall. Okay.
And it's
I
an
like that.
interesting one because
I like that.
he's gonna start off wide receiver one this year because Ajax obviously still coming back from injury.
Okay. Ramadunze off the board.
Oh, damn.
And you've also got who's the other wide receiver there? Jennings, who's not looked. He's again another one who's been injured. So I
Mm.
just think Ricky Pearsall could be a really good shout this year. So it's a bit of a reach. Probably could have got him in a couple of rounds later, but hey, why not?
So for me, I'm gonna then go for my backup QB now. And I'm gonna pick Kyler Murray.
Good show.
Nice.
And then with my next pick at wide receiver, I am gonna pick, and I'm picking this more because, well, he's suspended, but I think when he comes back, he's gonna be a beast, and that's Jordan Addison.
Good shout. Very good shout. First
Because
defense
I
off
had
the
him last year and he
board.
helped me win the league. So I mean, I'm just gonna keep that faith.
We've
How
had
many
the
picks have
first
we got?
defense off the board.
It's way
15.
too early for a defense.
We've got 15 picks total. We're in round 11.
Yeah, I'm. That'll be my bottom two picks. Will be a run.
Kicker and a defense.
Yeah, and then I'll just swap them out. I don't. In leagues like this, there's no point
Did someone just pick
hoarding
the
them.
Eagles defense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Round 11.
Um.
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure
I
I
do
believe
need
in
a
it as
running
much as
back.
I did last year, though. They lost some pieces, man.
I need a running back, but I can't turn away a second time to Chris Olave, so I'm going to
Mm,
pick him up.
that's fair enough.
I am looking at a running back as well, to be honest. And again, I'm taking chances on rookies this season. I'm going to go over to the New York Giants and take Cam Scatterbo.
Interesting.
Ooh. Parky has gone with DeAndre Swift. I like that Cam Scatterboo pick. I think it's a really nice sneaky pick for round 11. So yeah, DeAndre Swift has gone. I think I'm in the market for I'm kind of in the market for a backup QB, kind of in the market for another wide receiver. I'm also not sure with the Jacoby Myers news. I'm not sure I'm going to be too high on him at the moment. Who I am a little bit high on, however, rightly or wrongly, probably wrongly. Give me a bit of Debo Samuel at the Commanders.
Wow, that is a mad pick. Fair
He's
play.
been linking up very well with Daniels in preseason, from what people have been saying. I've not watched any of the Commanders in preseason,
Did
but
did you
that's the news coming out.
did you just see that auto pick by Gary Dan? No, not Dan, Sam.
Jesus Christ!
Cooper Cup.
There's a pattern emerging here on the auto picks, isn't there?
Yeah.
There certainly is.
So
Just
we've had
running backs, wide receivers.
Johnson, Calvin
Although
Ridley,
to be
Cooper
fair,
Cup, and
what's his name?
Brian
Calvin
Robert.
Ridley's a good pick, though, to be fair.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, Cooper Cup's a great guy, but I don't know how he's going to work out in Seattle. I think it's a really odd situation, but there you go.
I am going to go do it now. I think I need to go get my backup quarterback. I've been hiring him for over a year. Again, I think the Patriots will be a lot better this year. I'm taking
Ooh,
Drake May.
Interesting.
And then the Baltimore Ravens defense just went.
I am going to go for my backup tight end here. And I have been watching this guy all season. It is a homer. Everybody's down on Kyle Pitts, man.
Because he can't catch the ball.
He's not had a quarterback who can throw the ball at any decent level. So let's. You'll be surprised.
Oh,
What
man.
You have Kirk Cousins throwing
That
him the
is the
ball. and he still couldn't
definition
catch
of a
it.
homer.
Hey, we can all start on homer picks if you want.
When it's week 5 and he has like 2 targets in the game, come back to us.
Hey, when it's week 17 and he's like top of the tight end board.
He's never going to be top of the tight end board,
No, he's not.
unfortunately.
He's not. But he's a backup for me, right, guys? Okay, I've got Brock Bowers. I'm already solid. So
Yeah,
a
very
risky
true.
pick, but if he pulls through, that's a real shout. Come at me about my Falcons. See what happens.
To be fair, you're only going to realistically need him in week 8 when Bowers is out and you've got the Dolphins. So, which could very well by that week be a head coachless Dolphins.
That still doesn't fix the fact that Kyle Pitts can't catch.
Yes, he can.
Right, I need to take another running back.
He can only catch like unbelievable catch. Like he catches the ball behind his hand, but then it like lands like right here, and then he can't catch it. So it's
Well, we don't all have the Chiefs, the refs on our side, do we, Tom?
Oh yeah! Oh, here it comes! Here it comes! Season hasn't even started. It's already with the refs talk.
Oh, you come at me.
Right, I'm going to take a running back because I do need one. So Travis Etienne.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad pick to be fair. For the 12th round. Okay, I'm now on the clock.
That's annoying because I was going to take Stroud in the next round, so a bit annoyed he's gone. But
so for me, I'm high on this guy, rookie again for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Really sorry, Meg. I'm going to take Emeka Egbuka.
Love that pick.
Yeah, he's had a great off season as well so far.
And then next pick, I'm going to take a running back. Am I? I'm trying to think between a running back and a backup.
If you don't take a running back, one of them is going to get taken by the 8th or 9th team.
Yeah, I know. You're right. I probably need to do it just for that case alone. And it's tough. I'm gonna take Zach Charbonnet.
Great pick. I love that.
Just because when Kenneth Walker was out last year, he performed really well. So, and as much as I like KW3, he's proven that he can get injured quite a bit. So if he misses some time, Zach Charbonnet.
First kicker off the board. Jake Bates.
Oh, I removed kickers from my league because fuck that.
To be honest, I don't usually have kickers or defenses in leagues because they're pointless.
Because I mean, I get the defense because I think the defense should have like more value. To be fair, but I think kickers it's just like I don't want to lose a game just because a kicker kicks 3 field goals in a 9-3 win on like Sunday Night Football or something. You know what I mean?
But that's the fun of football. That's why we watch. That's why you tune in at 3 in the morning on.
Fletch, do you remember when we were chatting? Fletch, remember when we were chatting during that terrible game between the Vikings and the
Vikings and the Bears?
Yeah. Was it like 0-0 in like the fourth quarter or something?
Crazy.
Yeah, I've taken Brock Purdy. I was just looking at what quarterback I could have while Nix is away, and Purdy faces the Panthers in week 12. So that's my reason.
Gonna go with the Philly kicker. I'm gonna go with Jake Elliott because I don't have any other players in bye week for week 9. So
okay.
There's no other logic here.
Okay, so I've been hoping secretly that one player makes it through. I've been really, really high on him for the last few weeks of last season. I've been really high on him during the off season. I said the other day, once a quarterback gets on a good page with a wide receiver, granted, going into the off season, it can shuffle it a little, but Josh Allen will not lose that relationship with Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Mm.
Give
That's a
me
really good
Khalil
pick.
Shakir purely on the basis of just how many targets and receptions he'll get alone.
Oh, the
Tom,
Denver defense is gone.
yep, got
I've
Tracy.
got the Denver Broncos to be the number one defense this year.
Oh,
Yep.
I agree. I agree. I think their
Yeah.
defense is scary. I
Mm.
mean that front seven itself is insane. And then you put on top of that you got
PS2 and
PS2
what's
exactly.
what's his face who they took in the
A,
draft?
a
Oh,
Fanga, a Fanga as well.
that's the one.
Yeah, Talanoa Hufanga. Like they got him from the
Got him on a
49ers.
free.
Like
Yeah, got him on a
what?
free, which is
Like
ridiculous. They also picked up
they got him and Dre Greenlaw. It's like why the
yeah, Dre
49ers giving
Greenlaw
their
as
players
well.
all?
I'm
Let's
taking.
have an elite defense and just make them even better with
I know.
two brilliant picks.
The mad thing is with Dre Greenlaw, if he doesn't get injured in the Super Bowl, the 49ers probably go on and win that game because he was, I was, watching it pretty intently, obviously, as a Chiefs fan, but he was locking up Travis Kelce in the first half of that game. As soon as he went out, Kelce started to cook because, Fred Warner couldn't, he doesn't have the speed to keep up with Kelce. I mean, you can cover sideline to sideline, but in that second half, that's where the Chiefs kind of started to come back into it. But that was heartbreaking to what the way that he tore his ACL was insane. You're
Mm.
jumping on the sideline to go into the game. Mad.
Um, so I always go kicker first, then defense, especially when there's a couple of kickers who've gone off the board, and well, yeah,
Don't
only
you
two of each
dare.
have got two kickers, three defenses. I prefer me kickers first, and just because it's fun to say, I want
You're
Dick
going
of
to
the
take the
kicker.
guy that I want,
Dick of the
and I'm
kicker.
not going to be happy about this.
I'm taking Dick of the kicker.
It's fair.
Tom,
Um,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, what's worse than losing to a kicker who makes three field goals in a 9-3, and we've spoke about this before, is losing to is being 47, 48 points ahead of someone heading into
Mm,
Monday Night Football, and then Tyreek Hill goes and plays up that 51-point game. Or whatever it
mm.
was, I was 1 point. Tyreek Hill scored in that 52, 53 point game, 1 point more than I was up by. That's worse.
Yeah, I
That is
mean, that is
so
worse, to
much
be fair.
worse.
I do hear that. Steelers defense.
mhm. They're going to have to do something. They've got Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, yeah, true.
Let's be honest. If the defense
You're
doesn't,
not wrong. You're not wrong. They are going to have to do something.
Well, I mean, you're bound to get points throughout the year for TJ Watt sacks. So
I'm on
I've
it.
been
No,
building up that.
Yeah.
my way of looking at this for defenses is I look at who they're going to be playing, and I'm picking this team just based upon who they're going to be playing. In terms of they've got the NFC South this year, and their own league is not particularly strong, I don't think. So I'm picking the Bills defense, and that's just based upon who they're playing. I know they've got some tough games. They've obviously got my the Ravens to start with, but
So for me, this is finally where I'm going to take my backup tight end. Someone I'm actually high on for the Green Bay Packers, and that's Tucker Kraft.
you're just going to wait and pick up a defense and kicker off after we've done.
I mean, I'm now gonna because I'm on the clock again. I'm finally gonna pick a defense. So let's see what defenses are left.
Some
Uh,
good ones, to be fair. It's just I really struggle with teams like the Vikings and the Lions because of who they've got to play.
oh, the fact that these guys are still left on the board, the Texans defense. I'm taking the Texans.
decent show.
I mean, you look at that secondary, it's insane. Like, yeah, I mean, Derek Stingley, all pro. There's a guy called Kamari Lassiter who was a rookie last year, and he had a great season. So I think he's going to come on as well. And then that D line of Will Anderson and what's his name? Daniil Hunter as well. Like, yeah, that's going to be a problem.
I'm not going to bother with a kicker either because I will pick one up. I'll work out someone who'll be injured fairly early, and I'll get rid of him. I'm going
Yeah,
to take a backup tight end, and I think it's just someone who's constantly solid every single season, and that's Dallas Goedert.
that's not a bad shout, you know.
Last few picks for the
He's
home
just solid
stretch.
every season. As long as he stays fit, he's solid.
My last pick is going to be someone who, I don't know why, but for every league that I've been in, I've wanted this player and he's been taken. So I'm going for another little homer.
Darnell Mooney, yeah,
Darnold.
that's a good pick for the last round, to be fair.
Great shout. I just noticed that he was still available and I thought,
Yeah, that's pretty mad that he was still available, to be honest.
I think because we're only an 8-team league, I think means that there's a lot of players still left, which you would expect to have gone, which I
Yeah,
always
very
find a
true.
bit more difficult because Darnell Mooney has been a solid pick in a lot of leagues that I'm in.
100%.
He's been one I've always tried to target. Another one that's there as well is who I know is not going to get picked now is Marvin Mims. I think he's going
Yeah,
to be
I was
brilliant this
thinking
year.
that. I was even thinking like veteran guys, like last season with the Panthers, Bryce Young's main guy was Adam Thielen.
He's potentially. Well, the Vikings have asked about
I
drafting him,
saw
haven't
that. I
they?
saw that. I think he would be a great addition back to the Vikings, to be fair.
Mm. He'd be a good replacement, like temporary replacement for Addison,
Hmm.
and then obviously eventually probably be the third wide receiver in that
Do you know
room.
about his story, Sam?
Thielen,
Yeah, so he was an
no,
undrafted guy from the Minnesota area. Went and
Try out for.
tried out for the Vikings. You know, he did play college ball and everything. Then made the team. And then I think I'm right in saying that he still has the record for consecutive 100-yard games in a row.
Yeah, it's ridiculous his story.
It's mad, isn't it? Honestly.
Absolutely ridiculous. I've got 15 seconds here. I am going defense. I'm just not doing a homer pick. Um, give me the Vikings defense. And
There we
with
have
that,
it.
Chase McLaughlin and the Detroit Lions. God, the Dallas Lions. Couldn't think of anything worse. The Detroit Lions.
that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our draft. Took us a little over an hour, but obviously, if we weren't talking through picks and things like that, it would have probably been a bit quicker. Yeah, well done, everybody.
happy with
Just as a bit,
Stop sharing
just
my
as a bit
screen
of
there.
fun, because I just like to do it. It's never true and it never works out this way, but I like to do the fantasy football ranker analyzer because I just think it's really funny to look at how they work out. So I'm just going to throw out that league into it and see what comes out.
And does that say who's like the best value and stuff like that? Or does
It
it say
it just sort of says who do they think is going to potentially win the league,
Oh, okay.
who it ranks who's got the best wide receiver group, best etc. So
Yeah, yeah.
let me just find the general information.
I'm
It's
so happy
it's
I got the 1-1 there. I mean, taking Jamar Chase, I mean, it's the easiest decision in fantasy football, but
So,
let's see.
while you do
So
that, Sam, week one will consist of Team Lions Guy Fletch versus Team Ballers Meg. Then we've got Team Parky 91 versus Team Crafty Sports, Team Samram 47 versus Team 8, and Team Groovy versus Team Kainar 81.
so in terms of the overall, what it says here, best team overall is the team that picked first.
really,
Yeah, so it has you as the overall number one. However, it does have you as the seventh ranked for running backs and sixth ranked for quarterbacks.
Yeah, but that's because everyone's low on Mahomes. I get with the running backs thing, to be fair.
Yeah.
I was picking wide receivers before I was picking, but by the time I was picking all the good running backs, and you had those teams that just took fucking running backs. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, you look at the who got the apparently the first in terms of QBs was Groovy, who and was second for running backs.
Yeah.
So I would expect that, given the fact that he had about
You're
10 of
what
them.
to
Is it
say.
if it's cumulative, then fair enough, because that like fair play, you built up about 74 running backs, didn't it? So um
Fletch, you're second, by the way, and Meg, you're fourth, and I'm sixth out of eight. I don't have a single first or second or third. So there you go.
what's my highest ranking statistic?
Second for tight end. You don't everything else that you've got is fifth, fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh. I mean, I've got 3/4 of fifth and then a sixth and two sevenths. So
Lovely.
I think overall the best team really in terms of consistency is probably Parky's team because he's got 2 seconds, 2 firsts, a fifth, and an eighth. So,
Okay.
Okay, so
but like I say, it means absolute jack shit because
yeah.
Anything changes after week one, injuries and everything.
Yeah. Before we finish, I think I like doing that. That was something a bit different. That was something I however well this translates, I don't know, but I think that was fun and different, and I like doing that one. Before we go, next week we'll be doing a little bit of like a pre-season, post-season awards, bit different to the way we did it last year. Please do not turn up next week expecting me in a shirt and a tie and a waistcoat. Come back in January for that one. That will happen. But yeah, I'm not suiting and booting next week. We will do a little bit of a pre-season, post-season awards, see who we think are going to be taking up those NFL honors in January. But we have our final question. Now, again, as I've said, I've been a little bit in a foreign land this weekend, focusing on another form of American football and also getting a little bit drunk throughout the weekend. So the NFL has not been the first and foremost on my mind. I'm in Ireland. What else are you going to do in Ireland other than watch college football and get drunk? But I did get to watch a little bit of I saw a couple of Lions highlights, and the only highlight I really care about is Isaac Tesla doing the worm after scoring a touchdown. So I'm curious to know, right? I want you to put you guys in yourselves in the position of you're in the NFL, and you have just caught your first career touchdown pass, or choose yourself to be a running back and you've just scored your first touchdown as a running back. I don't care about anything else. What cell are you hitting?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I want to know. Are you going to be a bit of like an NFL Alan Sherry? Are you going to do a classic? You'll point to the sky and walk on with it. Are you going to hit a griddy? What are we doing?
I mean, being a bigger guy, built more like a offensive lineman, they don't often get touchdowns. What I'd probably do is just do the biggest spike that I possibly could with the ball. Just spike it as hard as I can and try and get it to bounce as high in the air. That'd probably be my go-to.
Oh, spike's a classic though. You need to
Mm.
Yeah, very true.
You can't beat a good spike.
Yeah.
What about you, mate?
I don't know. I'm really struggling with that question, to be fair. Because I always see myself in my head as a defensive tackle. So, bit of a tricky one.
All
But
right, it's scoop and score. You just picked up a scoop and score.
yeah, I'm
Still got
thinking
a celebration.
if I'm scooping, I might do like a cheeky little like ice cream scoop. That would be funny. Not. Depending on what team, might pretend that I'm a bird and fly around the sideline. You know?
We're
Love
not
that.
you're not going to prepare yourself for a special like I've just scored a touchdown line dance.
Oh yeah, that's a shout. That's a shout.
Or now you know the routine, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
Yeah, but then that's just cheese. That's just Dallas, though, and nobody wants to be associated with that. That was a lost bet that made me have to do that
I mean,
one.
everyone lost that bet. Everyone.
Yes, I'll do a line dance. There you go. That's better. Ice cream scoop.
In all fairness, the eating them up thing is a good classic. So feed me more.
Yeah, I like
Sort
it.
of thing.
Better than the handcuffs of Tyreek Hill, right?
Tom,
That's true.
So for me, it's one that's already been done, but I just think it's classic. And it is the dance. I'd have to do it with someone, but it's the dance from White Chicks.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
doing it.
that is a good
No,
one.
I'm down. I'm so down.
That was the first thing that came into my head, to be honest. It's the recital. It's fucking very good.
Weirdly enough, as well, on Friday when we got back to, like, obviously got to Ireland, went around Dublin for the afternoon, the evening, whatnot, got back to the hotel really late with a dirty kebab, and first thing we could think to do was just go, let's put White Chicks on while we chill. Quality film, absolutely brilliant. I believe the seller's been done as well on it, or it's been attempted. Was it the Vikings who tried it?
Yeah. That was what I was thinking. It was Cam Bynum and Josh Metellus. I think it was those two that did it. But they're a lot more athletic than me, but I think that would be a lot of fun to do. So
Um, Again, I posed this question to you guys a while ago. I've still not thought about it really. Um, a part of me wants to think I'd be really, really cool and do a Barry Sanders and just hand the ball back to the refs and just be like, listen, do like you're a postman, like you do it 15, like you do this 100 times a day. But I think I'm with Sam. I think you've just got to. I'm not planning anything out. I'm gonna if it's my first tuddy, when I'm getting in the end zone and I'm just spiking it because or I'd be the one who gets in trouble because I've just launched the ball into the crowd, and Mr. Referee wants his ball back. So yeah, I think that's where I'd end up going.
very
But
nice.
I do love a good seller, and that's something I love seeing every weekend is a brand new seller. I'm gonna stop calling them sellies now as well. It's really, 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 really cheap. So again, like I said, with that in mind, we are back next week for our preseason, postseason awards. It is the final non-preview or review show. The final. I need you to take this in for a second, guys. The final non-preview or review show and we will have a little bit of a preview as well in the episode because, well, as much as you and I, us two and I, Sam and Meg, we're going to have a wonderful time next Thursday previewing games. We're going to be doing it on Thursday night. We're not going to get there in time for the opening game of the season. So, for Philly and Dallas. So we'll have to do a bit of a preview next week. College football at the weekend now. As of Thursday this week, we've got college football. So go and check out the College Football UK podcast. And we will see you next week. Head to the links in the description. And what we're hurdling this week, guys. Chapman normally comes up with it. What we're hurdling?
Hurdle that.
How did
Yeah,
that draft, right?
Hurdle that. Well, no, we've already had hurdle that draft because we had that when it was the draft.
Those picks.
Hurdle those running backs.
Hurdle those running backs. I'll take that one. I like the hurdle those picks as well, though.
Hurdle those auto picks. That's what it should be, actually.
Yeah, hurdle those auto picks.
Hurdle those auto picks. That's what we're going with.
Love that.
See you next week.